Thank you for calling. You can leave us your contact information after the tone, or you can send us a text message. If you're searching for placement in one of our recovery homes, you can go to .com and submit a pre-entry application. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Is there anybody that might be trying to get even with you, that would try to hurt you by taking your daughter?
I can't think of anybody.
Nobody in the drug culture, nobody owed money, nobody.
In our area, there's people that, you know, you got these boys and then you got these boys that you know, they're very prideful about, you know, kind of like, I guess LA, you got the Bloods and the Crips. Well, these are hillbillies. I don't know.
Included. So I've heard all this cornbread mafia. It's the most absurd shit I've ever heard. My wife has lived down here all of her life. I have lived down here 10 years, and I have never heard of the cornbread mafia. 99.9% of everyone down here, they are good, solid, working, wonderful neighbors and Americans. Now, in any area, you've got certain people that do certain things, and you know it. And yes, there's a few bad seeds down in this area, but it is a wonderful, quiet area. It is near the Bays Mountain Planetarium. It's not far from there. So I wanted to clear that up. There is no cornbread mafia. I've never heard of that in my life. There might be 5 or 6 jackasses, and they can barely put 2 sentences together, much less form any kind of a mafia. So that is a myth. That does not exist. That is a lie. And as far as the meth labs and this or that, I've never heard tell of any down here. Now, like I said, there are 4, 5, 6 people that you know up and down this 6-7 mile stretch of road that's considered Beach Creek. They're dumbasses. They're trouble. But it's like anywhere else. So there is no cornbread mafia. But I wanted to by doing this podcast, I wanted to give you the basics. I wanted to tell you some of the things that I knew firsthand.
Sat down with Scott and Greg. They ask you about organized crime in the area,
Right.
Because we know that there's trafficking that goes on.
Yeah.
People take
Yeah.
children, and I hate to even say this because it's such a horrible thing to think about, but they take children and they sell them. They sell them into all different kinds of different lives, whether it's sex trade, slave trade, different things. That happens here in LA. It happens there.
Exactly what I've continued to say. At a certain point, Fred told me that another little girl, same age as Summer, looked exactly like her, sort of, in description from Fred. And even he said that. But that she had been taken, or she had just vanished. Out of the back of the holler, out of the woods. And she belonged to meth cooks. All of them were moving around inside the woods to different areas and taking goods in and out, and food, and shit to cook with, and all that shit.
And they ask you about organized crime.
Mm-hmm.
When Scott asked you about the cornbread mafia, you got very upset when he asked you about that. Why did that upset you so much?
When you first come home.
I'm not doing all that. I'm not going all the way back. I can't do this.
So listen, they're trying to help. They're trying to help.
It's not helping me.
I know, but they might.
There's nothing more to remember.
Trying to help.
I want to go home. Because I don't even know what that is.
Sorry?
I've never even heard of it. I don't even know what it is.
Then why would it upset you so much?
Because it sounds horrible.
Where is Summer Wells? It's the latest thought raging on the internet since the parents of the 5-year-old have been introduced to millions of viewers on the Dr. Phil show.
And part 2 of the 2-part segment aired late this afternoon. News Channel 11's Ainsley Daniel has been leading our coverage since Summer's disappearance in June, and she reports on one of the biggest takeaways from the Dr. Phil show.
Josh and Sarah, we took a look at the Google Trends in the past day for Cornbread Mafia. As you can see behind me here, plenty of hits followed. The related topics kept getting closer to Summer's home: Hawkins County, kidnapping, Phil McGraw, Rogersville, and Summer.
You have to actually look at what is organized crime.
There are distinct factors, starting with the existence of a chain of command and a means of moving money.
You usually see money flowing from the bottom to the top. You usually see some type of identifier via tattoos, the type clothes that individuals are wearing, colors, stuff of that nature.
That's not what you get out of this 80s era organization who got their start moving marijuana, not children.
At this point, it's more of legend and folklore versus actual possible reality.
Candace Bly's reaction was unmistakable, but the cause of her stress could be misunderstood.
You know, we don't know what the triggering effect is. It could have just triggered her for something else and not necessarily their involvement with or possible involvement with her abduction or disappearance.
Dr. Phil used specific words when he told Dawn and Candace what he thought of their involvement.
My understanding is Dr. Phil says it to the family, and he makes it specific, and he says in her murder and then the covering or removal of the body. He doesn't say anything else about trafficking or anything of that nature. So I found that kind of unique that he worded it in that way.
Dr. Phil's words and the parents' reactions are certainly taking center stage in the 2 days of episodes.
To me, as a former investigator, it doesn't say a lot to me that the way they're acting, the way they do. What I'm going to look at more is the statements that they're making, their body language, and how they present themselves. That's what I'm going to look more at versus the number of times they get before a camera.
But the organization may well exist, says our expert, but no structure exists to pull off Summer's disappearance.
So I think it's more of a code of silence versus an actual organized operation.
Stanton says he trusts the agencies leading the investigation into what happened to Summer Wells. He told me today that he believes this case will be solved, and it's just a matter of when.
Ainsley, thanks. You can see all of our coverage on the search for Summer Wells right now on WJHL.com underneath the news tab.
Just thinking that her in her mind feeling like she's being interrogated bothers her because she loves her daughter with all her heart. She spent a lot of quality time with her every day. Thank God. She took a lot of pictures.
Well, why don't you let her in?
Okay, yes, sir.
Because that's not interrogating you. It's we're trying to help you find your daughter. I started this out by saying, I don't think you hurt your daughter. I'm standing up for you. I'm saying, I don't think you hurt your daughter, but I'm going to look under every rock. I'm going to go down every trail. I'm going to investigate everything. And if you want to find her, you would be right there beside me saying, right, Doc, let's turn this rock over. Let's ask this person. Let's consider this. It doesn't make sense to me that, I mean, you got up and left the interview when he asked you about that, and I didn't understand that.
Why now? Why now? Because something changed. That's why now. You thought I was going to sit here and do whatever you thought I was going to do forever. This is about Summer Wells. This isn't about Don or Candace or fucking any of them. If you can't be patient, be an adult and remove yourself.
Know what's going on with Chris and Trudy, but it can't be all of these complications with Trudy and these things that they're doing on WJHL and all these things they're stretching the truth about finding remains. Like, man, there is no integrity in any of that shit they're doing. Let me tell you what, at nighttime, Trudy gets together with Candace and Shannon and all this shit to Prayer Garden or whoever is bashing the wells that night. That's not her child. In fact, I don't even like the idea that I know she's doing it because it's completely unethical for her to sit down in a WJHL segment and call herself a private investigator. that is no longer private.
Yes, Sarah, I sat down with private investigators Chris and Trudy Coball. They volunteered to help in the Luke Vance search back in November. They told me there are many differences between this case and the search for Vance.
It's an odd case because, you know, there's so many twists, and really the only people that know what's going on are the immediate family and maybe, you know, the police and the FBI.
Last fall, both Chris and Trudy Coball helped find the body of Luke Vance after weeks of searching in Unicoi County.
That case is so different from this case because that case was, everybody was open, everybody was willing to give information, everybody was working towards the same goal, and everybody was searching.
As private investigators, they say they are closely following the search for missing 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell. Chris says a number of things have stood out and noted how family cooperation was very hands-on during the Vance case.
All the information seems to be questionable or vague or contradictory, and it's hard to develop a plan when you don't have good information to go off of.
Today, Megan Boswell, the mother of missing Evelyn, told News Channel 11 in a Facebook message that she was pregnant and could not take a polygraph test because she is pregnant. According to the TBI, more than 500 tips have been called in. None have turned up any good leads. The TBI also tweeted there's been no credible sightings of Evelyn.
You're always going to have a lot of people giving, you know, their opinions and their thoughts, which are not necessarily facts. But as bad as that is, it only takes that one clue to maybe help break the case.
Both Chris and Trudy's prayers go out to the investigators and child involved.
I just feel everybody's heart is wanting to know that that little girl, Evelyn, is safe.
Both Chris and Trudy also say if authorities ever needed them, they would be glad to try and help in the search.
Blake, thanks. And we reached out to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, who told us they do not administer polygraph tests. TBI told us Megan Boswell was not scheduled to take a polygraph, and even if she was pregnant, the test could still be administered.
Right? Like, you walk into the store and I'm like, hey, Chris, you're the private investigator that tried to give up your services for free on Evelyn Boswell case last year. It's not private anymore. It's clout. They're chasing clout.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kelly Grossfield. It's been almost 1 year since the search began for a missing Hawkins County 5-year-old. The effort to find Summer Wells hasn't stopped, and it's our top story tonight as investigators hold yet another search of the Beech Creek community. She was 5 years old the day she went missing near her home on Ben Hill Road. Take a good look. This is Summer. She was about 4 feet tall with blonde hair at the time of her disappearance, last seen the night of June 15th, 2021. Search crews continue to scour through Beech Creek in hopes of finding the child, or at least clues leading to her whereabouts. A team put together by the Wells family private investigators were back in Hawkins County today with eyes on the ground and in the air. The technology used today can even detect burial sites.
When you put someone in the ground, basically as they decompose, and it kind of kills everything around it, but as everything grows back over time, it flourishes. It kind of creates a super fertile soil. And what you can detect on near infrared is the different color of the ground that you couldn't normally see with the naked eye.
8 people were a part of the search crew today. And the 1-year anniversary since Summer Wells disappeared is this upcoming Wednesday. A prayer vigil will be held that day at Warriors Path State Park near the riding stables. That's set to begin at 6 p.m.
That's it. If they were chasing, they wouldn't be here anymore. And all I saw was that each of them were grieving, were sad, moved fast, 40, and they thought that little girl was her. If anybody needed convinced, once again, they'd be great actors. So I can't. In my little brain, I cannot see. We're mine, she's alive. That's all I know. Never mind, she's alive, and they wanted to be her. The hell did they know? Where the hell they're there's this little girl that's, you know, actually in a situation where she's going to be identified and separated. Like, how did even that happen? Like, and that's where the YouTubers go insane, because sometimes you just don't know why. You need to say coincidence. I say, you know, people are going, ha-ha. But there's always been like a scripted God thing going on in my experience through life, because you can't write these scripts. I mean, to have the camera rolling on them, they never showed any of the footage. But to actually have all that documented of that event happening real time with the studio, if they had the slightest question of what these parents would act like, you know, oh, we found your daughter. Oh, man. If you think that she's dead, they're going to go, oh, man, you know, I hope so. Well, I do. And they're going to get this real worried look on their face, like, oh, well, you know, this was pumped. And then crash. And I mean, I was the guy that had to walk up and kneel in front of him and show him the pictures of who it was, you know, and just devastation. And then for Candace then to go ahead and go into an interview that I basically set up. And she does, and then that was it. I said, this woman has given everything that she could possibly do. Does that mean there's not some weird accident? Does that mean something? But I've never seen the slightest hint, A, that they know where she's at, or B, that they think she's dead. At all. I've never seen it. And all I saw.
You want to find your daughter, obviously. And it puzzles me that you get so upset about that. And, you know, one theory is guilty knowledge, that you may know something you don't even know you know. You may be afraid of something that is so horrible you don't even want to think about it.
One, why Dr. Phil might have asked about guilty knowledge. Dr. Phil has a background in psychology and has long worked with law enforcement style questioning. When he asks about guilty knowledge, he is typically exploring whether the interviewee might know more about the event than they are disclosing, even if they are not the perpetrator. He might use the term to test credibility. Interviewers often look for inconsistencies, memory gaps, unusual behavior patterns. Anything that could suggest the person is withholding information. Asking about guilty knowledge doesn't mean he thinks the person is guilty. It is a probing technique. Create psychological pressure to observe reactions. Experts sometimes ask questions that force a person to react emotionally or cognitively. They look for defensiveness over explanation, changes in tone, anxiety beyond what the question should reasonably cause. These responses can give insight into whether the person knows something critical. Explore whether the parent might have indirect knowledge. In some missing child cases, parents may not have participated in anything harmful but might know who the child was last with, have suspicions, know about previous threats or dangers, have details they're scared to share. The question helps see if the parent is hiding important contextual information, not necessarily a crime. Black medium square, encourage disclosure. Sometimes parents withhold information because they fear being judged. They don't want to expose someone close to them. They feel guilt or shame about unrelated issues. Asking directly can open the door to sharing. 2. What guilty knowledge means in forensic psychology. In investigative psychology, guilty knowledge refers to information only the person involved in an incident, or someone with inside knowledge, would know. It does not automatically imply criminal guilt. In law enforcement, guilty knowledge involves a knowing specific details of the crime. These are details that are not public, not obvious, only known to the perpetrator or a witness. Example: in general missing child cases, not about anyone specific, knowing exactly where the child went missing, describing an object involved before investigators reveal it, knowing a timeline that contradicts public facts. B. Having awareness of events leading up to the incident. This could include knowing someone dangerous was around, knowing the child was in a risky situation, ignoring or hiding something that contributed to the disappearance. C. Behavioral patterns indicating concealment. Not necessarily guilt, but investigators look at avoiding certain topics, shifting blame, glossing over timelines, sudden emotional suppression, or spikes. Again, this is standard investigative psychology. 3. What guilty knowledge could mean in a missing child case. Generally, below are general possibilities investigators consider. These are not accusations against any real person. They are simply the categories professionals use when evaluating any missing child case. 1. Knowledge of what actually happened. Someone might know the child wandered away, the child had an accident, someone else was involved, but may be too shocked, confused, or afraid to convey it clearly. 2. Knowledge of someone else's involvement. A witness might suspect a family member or neighbor have heard or seen something, have information they fear will cause trouble. This type of knowledge is often withheld to protect someone. 3. Knowledge of risk factors they haven't admitted. This includes unsafe conditions, previous incidents, people who came to the home, drug or alcohol use in the environment. Often people hide these because they feel shame or fear judgment. 4. Emotional or psychological guilt. Sometimes, guilty knowledge is not about crime, it's about feeling responsible, such as, I should have watched more closely. I let her go outside. I didn't notice something. This emotional guilt can make a person act defensive, which can mimic deceptive body language even when they're innocent. Why Dr. Phil used the term in this interview format. Dr. Phil uses structured questioning similar to statement analysis, forensic interviewing, credibility assessment. He may have been testing consistency, confronting emotional avoidance, pushing for clearer timelines, evaluating whether she was withholding information due to fear or shame. His style often includes psychological stress questions designed to see how the person copes under scrutiny. Summary: guilty knowledge does not mean someone is guilty of a crime. It means knowledge that only someone closely connected to the event, by involvement, proximity, or inside information, would have. Dr. Phil likely asked to test reactions, explore inconsistencies, see whether more information existed, encourage emotional honesty, clarify the timeline. Again, none of this assigns guilt. It's simply the psychological framework behind the term.
And so you push it down and don't even want to think about it. But I want you to think about it. I want you to be willing to consider every possibility, because it's only when you think about the darkest possibilities that we can find answers. And the Cornbread Mafia, Scott, define that for us.
Sort of an organized crime syndicate in the South. It runs from Tennessee to Georgia. It's widespread.
Mm-hmm.
And some parts are thicker than others, but overall, it's there.
And it's kind of a homegrown. This isn't out of New York or Miami or Chicago. This is a local syndicated mafia. There's a lot of meth trafficking in it. There's a lot of all sorts of things.
Yes, sir.
Exactly what I've continued to say. At a certain point, Fred told me that another little girl, same age as Summer, looked exactly like her, sort of, in description from Fred. And even he said that. But that she had been taken, or she had just vanished. Out of the back of the holler, out of the woods. And she belonged to meth cooks. All of them were moving around inside the woods to different areas and taking goods in and out, and food, and shit to cook with, and all that shit. But they didn't report her as missing or vanished. Because, well, obviously. And she, somehow much like Summer, was not yet in school. But they had such camp that they were actually living in the woods. They weren't just visiting and they were coming and going. They were actually living in the woods with the cook site and being moved around by others during periods. When it's time to move, goods taken in and out to them, as they needed help moving the cook locations inside of the mountains, such. But anyway, it starts with it's why my initial watching. But damn, there's no way to tell with so many looky-loos and online crazies going real life. This was right after they firmly took off all full-time and part-time guards / copped into the road and all these other things. But of course, looky-loos, like I said a minute ago, part of my initial watching was to see return of predator or person, if anyone else other than those last known to be with Summer were involved. Somebody like that would indeed come back to revisit. Damn near bet on it. Couldn't tell though, for all you fucking Fruit Loops out there in the world who thought you just had to come into Ben Hill. Like I said, thanks a whole fucking bunch. So anyway, hey, but y'all got footage of me in my nightgown with a machete moving my cameras around in the middle of the night and put them out on psychic channels. Thank God that really helped Summer Wells. Whereas if you just stayed the entire shit fuck out of there, that might have helped Summer a whole hell of a lot more. Somebody to have actually been identified, if not for you assholes. Yeah. Good job, guys. Anyway, see, it's problem with y'all going to all these fucking places where all these events happen. See? Do you see the fucking issue? Yeah. Hey, but it's no big thing. You're just driving in the road. It's fine. It's fine. No harm, no foul. You don't, get out of the car and pet the animals or anything. Nah, it is a problem. Because with crimes like this, chances are really high probability of revisiting the scene by those responsible. Can't tell for you assholes that do this around every case. You just gotta have the TikTok footage and the YouTube footage, don't you? Don't you? Hell, on all the anniversaries and shit y'all visit here? Every year, every 6 months, every time those, it's fun. Every time dumbasses come here, get attention back, others out here like, oh shit, I didn't know about this case, let me go visit Ben Hill, and those like Ryan, all this shit, right? Every time you do this inside that community, just know, especially on anniversary dates and certain times, that could hold significance for the person or persons responsible. And they may actually be visiting or coming in at those times. And once again, they can't be seen because of all you assholes. Get it yet? Anyway, it's why my initial watching. But damn, there's no way to tell with so many looky-loos and online crazies going real life in here. Anyway, so then I go, know what Fred said to me yesterday? Mind you, I couldn't tell if it was real Fred, dope Fred, or schizophrenic Fred. No lie. But he said there's a guy and girl in here stashed in the wood. Cooks. It says some of the others bring food and goods to them and help move the cook locations in the back of the hollow. Says he had in caps a little girl too that vanished, and he made it seem like they didn't report it because it was in here and they were cooking, obviously. Fred's speak is strange. Persons like that would make sense on Candace saying that about the quote youngin' down the road. Now this is I was like, nah, not really, because Candace implied the one that was for sale for meth down the road, but did point in the same direction that Hollow travels and where the cook locations and all that were at some point that Fred was implying was a little one, a wee tiny one. And that was stated by her quite a bit before summer vanished. About the time all the weird changes started happening. Year and a half before summer vanished. So I know my reply to this is like, nah, not the same age, blah, blah. But Candace did point in the same direction. So there is that. I remember exactly where she was standing and all this shit. She said which way she pointed. So that's neither here. But, so not the same. But then again, maybe because of that Fred's time or that amount of time passing, or Fred wrongly assuming the age, or whatever. Maybe the fuck they were talking about the same little fuck, I don't know. But if you're a cook, you're making the meth, you then wouldn't trade a child off for meth. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they're both talking about two different. Actually, all I can tell you is I hope neither were real and it was just Candace with diabetes, though hurt about it. I don't know. Just why lie about stuff? I just don't. Then again, why lie about and hoaxes and all their bullshit. And Fred's Fred. Okay, Fred's Fred. So I hope neither thing is true. I hope both are full of shit. Always hope that. I did try to get a bead on the one. I and Monster both did. Did report it in real time, just so you're aware. You know, because y'all do love that whole, why didn't you report it? Why did you just live beside this? Why didn't you do anything? It's weird shit you all don't know, but accuse us all of. Swear we didn't or did not do with absolutely no idea of anything. And y'all love screaming that shit, don't you? Just love it.
And there are a lot of meth labs in that area, and this is all organized. These aren't independent.
Correct.
It's even harder to penetrate because everybody knows everybody.
Right.
They're crazy in Tennessee. Like I told you, what they say on Beach Creek, what happens in Beach Creek stays on Beach Creek.
Yeah.
She told me about some friends that she was staying with because David kicked her out and they were helping her. It's another girl that David was getting his pain pills off of, and she lived, he lived on that first street right before my store. So David would go back there. I watched him. Drugs, a lot of crimes, yeah, a lot of, people doing crazy shit to people, like killing them and taking them up in the mountain and burying them, and you don't find them.
And there is trafficking involved in that part of the country, like every other part of the country. And so one of the theories is that someone abducted her in that regard. And I don't know that. I'm just saying you have to consider that. Somebody took her for some reason.
That's been one of my theories, because there's been a lot of people coming up to our house and just taking whatever at night. They come up, they knew where we were one day, and they took all the tools out of my shed. And that's been one of my theories, is someone local that's been watching us. And then the other theory is a more professional type mafia or whatever. I don't know, but that's always been one of my theories. But I never heard about no cornbread mafia.
Oh, Tony's one.
You're muted.
Hey, can I say one more thing? Trish had mentioned that I tried selling my kids when I was younger, when I was living in Utah, and I just want to flat out deny that. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Who in the world can you sell kids to anyway? You know, that is just unbelievable.
And then the other theory is a more professional type mafia or whatever. I don't know, but that's always been one of my theories. But I never heard about no cornbread mafia.
Everybody knows this stock is a major drug hub. I could go there right now and probably buy. I guarantee you, bro. And you know I'm telling the truth. I could go to Southern California right now, get the Mexican mafia, and get. I could probably spend $300 to get fucking a half ounce of pure cocaine. You know.
It's running on Wi-Fi right now instead of. Okay, first thing, here we go again with the Mexican mafia. This was just the 21st, around midnight. All right, we need to start playing this because I've. Can't be on like too long. Let's listen.
So when I was in the drug areas in Southern California, everybody knows this stock is a major drug hub. I could go there right now and probably buy. I'll guarantee you, bro, and you know I'm telling the truth. I could go to Southern California right now, get the Mexican mafia, and get. I could probably spend $300 to get fucking a half ounce of pure cocaine. You know this.
Wow.
Okay, first thing, here we go again with the Mexican mafia. This was just the 21st, around midnight. Doug has listed here. This is on No Thanks channel. This is my first time hearing this, okay? So here we go again with the Mexican mafia.
Oh. You know this. Come on, man. Don't rush
Yeah, stock is far from me though, so yeah, I'm like an LA guy. Yeah.
Well, probably in LA too. I don't know a lot about LA, but Stockton, California, you have a shipping port that comes right into Stockton, the downtown Stockton area. There's a lot of cocaine there.
Right.
I mean, what's your drug of choice? Be honest with me.
Marijuana. I never tried even marijuana until I was like 24 years old, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a straight edge. I never drank or anything until I was out of high school, bro. Like I never did anything like that.
That's good, man.
Like you have to understand, my dad was a cop, my brother was a cop, bro. I couldn't do anything wrong for any reason anyway. They always catch me.
Okay, well, I get it, man.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even be a drug addict if I wanted to. My parents would send me to jail too quick.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, Doug. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Cocaine's been a major problem in my life.
Right. I know.
It has. It really has. I'm not gonna lie to you because you know what? Because I want to be realistic with you, and I want to be fair with you, and I want to be, a brother to you.
I appreciate that, and I want to do the same to you, Don.
All right, I appreciate that, bro. But here's the thing: when I was in Stockton, California, years ago, when I was a kid, I run this by Cher, and I run this by White Boy, and I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Please keep this to yourself. But this is important. Okay. I was running the drug areas in Stockton, California when I was a younger kid.
Right.
Okay. And I seen this 14-year-old girl. I could tell she couldn't have been no more than 14 years old. Beautiful little girl, right?
Right.
But she was dressed like like a hooker basically. I pulled up to her in my truck, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing out here? Like, what do you not know that you're in a drug area, kind of thing?" And she's like, "Well, I'm just blah blah blah." I can't remember what she told me. I said, "Can I please take you home?"
Right.
All right. And then she said, "Yeah, no problem."
and she jumped in my truck like it was shit, you know. She didn't know me from nobody. Okay, she told me where to take her, and I took her to her so-called house or whatever, right? And I walked in the house with her, right? Okay. When I get inside, there's about a 75-year-old black woman, okay? And inside that home was about a 8-year-old white boy,
right?
about a 9 or 10, maybe 11-year-old white boy, and then plus that girl that I just brought back, right, to the house. Here's okay. This old black woman was smoking pure cocaine.
Right.
You know, we're talking about Stockton, California. They have the best dope you can get anywhere. And
Well, it's all over California.
Yes, exactly. But there's no way, bro. And I was younger, and I didn't put it together at that time. But through the years, I've been thinking about this a whole lot. That there's no. I knew them kids were smoking cocaine, and I didn't put it together. But when I thought about it more and more, there's no way that them kids belonged to that black woman, and they were addicted to cocaine.
Right.
Yes.
So they were like.
Them kids could have been kidnapped from anywhere in the United States,
right?
And addicted to cocaine and controlled by cocaine.
Cocaine's that beast, huh?
Sir?
Cocaine is that kind of beast, huh?
Cocaine is what?
Is that beast? It'll bring out the beast in people.
Well, I mean, you can get anybody. You know how it is. Well, maybe you don't, but I'll tell you. I will tell you that. You know, okay, I will educate you then. When you get addicted to drugs, you will sell your own soul to stay high. A lot of people, man, cocaine. I mean, Stockton, California is a major drug hub.
Right.
We have to look at this stuff. I mean,
I know what you're talking about for sure. I definitely know it's definitely.
Someone could be in a situation like this. That's what scares the fuck out of me.
Right. Do you think somebody from the holler would, since they wanted to get you out of there, do you think somebody would do this to you?
Well, look at this, man. You know, hey, suppose. Okay, look. You know, okay. I know this. You may not know this, but I do know this. I could go to Stockton, California, get a hold of the Mexican mafia, and they would lead me in. I could buy probably an ounce of cocaine for $100, bro. You know how cheap that is?
Yeah, that's expensive drug too.
No, $100 for the fucking pure cocaine is probably worth. Gosh damn, that's worth a lot of fucking money, bro.
Yeah, but that you're getting it for cost, like cheap.
No, the pure cocaine for $100. That's so dirt cheap. And they would actually lead me out on the highway and make sure I was safe on the highway and on my way. And they would do that for me. I know this.
When was the last time you got anything like that?
Man, I ain't never got no shit like that. But I've been with people that's done this. I've seen it. I know.
Right.
I lived in Southern California. I know what it's like there.
So you're not naive to California. Yeah, you're not naive to California at all, though.
Man, I took this black girl one time. She says, just take me down there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched her get a golf ball of pure cocaine for a $100 bill.
Holy shit.
No, man, that's the way it is, man. When you know these people and you have the connections, you can get awesome deals like that.
So what are you telling me that these people that are doing this, they also have the ability to have these kids, you know, addicted and.
Okay, well look here, man. Look here. Okay, say that you left
you're a drug dealer, okay, and you can get an awesome deal like that, and say you go to some city in the United States and sell cocaine for a living.
Right.
Okay, what are you gonna do on your way back? Think about this black woman I seen that had the two young boys that I know weren't hers,
Right.
and this 14-year-old girl that I know weren't hers.
Right. How'd you end up there?
Okay. How did I end up there?
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
I want to know. I'm kind of curious.
Okay, my mother took over a Motel 6 out there in Stockton, California.
Mhm.
They tried to shut the drugs deals off out there because Stockton, California is a major drug distribution city. That Stockton, California thrives off that kind of stuff. Okay, so they shut down the drug activity in that motel, and they lost 100% of their business.
Right.
Do you know what they had to do to open that Motel 6 back up?
What happened?
You wouldn't believe it. Okay, what they had to do, they had to allow some select drug dealers to come in. And not only that, they had to hire security to protect them.
What?
No, I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious as fuck.
Oh my God.
They had to hire security to protect the drug dealers and allow them to sell cocaine in the Motel 6 to bring it up to 100%.
Wow.
And that's no bullshit. That's straight out.
So why did Jody Sue say that you were bringing all the drugs into the holler? Why?
Federal. That's all I know. Federal.
She's not.
Storm the Capitol. That's all I know.
Wow.
Over the Mexican mafia stuff.
Did Donnie ever come into some money that you knew about or anything?
About $80,000. $80,000 over the Mexican mafia. You know.
No, unless.
They're gonna kill him.
Huh?
They're gonna kill him.
The drug cartel, is that what you said? They're gonna kill him, they're gonna hurt him?
Yeah.
Well,
But you ought to know that these hills and these hollers have eyes and have ears. And you know, pretty much when you act a fool late at night, you ain't the only one seeing it.
But if you,
I'm always stand behind him. I love that Donnie said 20 children the mafia cartel. The children that were the hero.
okay.
And they're mad at him. They're very mad at him. He said 20 children out of the mafia, and they're mad at him. I guess, I don't know. Somebody working with FBI. Yeah, and save a bunch of the Mexican mafia. And now they asked him. I want my home, my kids back.
Right.
I don't know anything about Donnie or whatever went on with the cartel. I don't know anything about that. I've never heard about it until now.
Right.
Donnie tried to save 20 children. And he's working with them with they're killing him. They're trying to kill him.
Yeah, Candace, he hasn't said nothing to me, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, I did read about that, about him owing money to people, but I just thought it was just another rumor, you know?
It's top secret, I guess. Oh, I know where my babies are.
You know, it starts to overwhelm you, and sometimes you got to step back and take time for yourself. Heal yourself, because things like this can get to you, and it just takes you over. And that's about where I'm at. I mean, this little girl is the heart of everybody now. I mean, she is so precious, and we need to find this little girl.
I don't know if I stopped hearing you or you stopped talking.
I stopped talking. I get a tear in my eye when the beat
Okay, now I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
saying that. Was she trying to cover her own? She trying to cover her own ass.
Who said that?
Jody Sue. She was telling you. Remember when you guys were fighting?
Dude. When it comes to Jody Sue, please just don't even fucking go there, please.
Can I just say, is she the one that was bringing it all in with Andy?
I'm not gonna. Let's not even talk about Jody Sue.
Okay. I got you.
Come on, man. You know she's a nutcase.
I don't like that lady.
Man, I'm trying to be fair with you, bro. I'm trying to be fair with you, okay?
Me too. I'm just asking. I'm asking because that's what she said.
I'll work with you. I'll work with you 100%. Don't fucking bring that dumb bitch. Just fucking suck on Emma.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying, bro?
Deal.
Come
That's
on.
a deal. That's a deal.
You know she's a fucking nutcase.
That's a deal.
All right, brother. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Let's be real here, man. I'm being real with you, man. I'm 100%. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I hope you give me the benefit of the doubt.
Will do. I will.
All right, brother.
All right.
I appreciate that, man. I'll go live with you. Don't fucking, dude. Don't fuck me around.
Just don't fuck me around. Let's do it the right way.
Fuck me around, man.
Let's do it the right way.
Exactly.
All right.
This is about missing kids. It's not about you. It's not about me or anything else. This is about missing kids. You want to help missing kids?
No, you're sounding more like me. I like the way that sounds. It's not about you. It's not about me. I like that.
I appreciate that, bro. Man, you have a family of police, man.
Yeah, I know.
We have to respect them.
Right, bro. We have a hard time trusting some certain police, but you have to put your faith in. But you have to put your faith in LEs right now, bro.
It's your family, your cops.
Yes, but you have to put you got to put your faith in right now that LE is doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, bro.
Right.
Okay. That's where I'm at. As long as
your family, your cops, bro.
Yeah, but that actually has no bearing on how I feel about Hawkins County and what they're doing right now.
Oh no, fucking Hawkins County's a whole other fucking story.
Yeah, but I'm saying we have to put our faith in them right now, Don.
Man, no. How can you put your faith in Hawkins County?
Well, don't you have to have faith in them so they help us find your daughter at some point?
Look what them motherfuckers did to me, bro. I don't even know you. I don't even know your dad or nothing.
Right.
I don't have no clue who the fuck he is, but I probably have more faith in your dad than I do would ever have in Hawkins County. I don't even know
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that though too. I see your point there.
Right?
No, I see your point.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I see your point.
Thank you, sir. Man, I don't even know your dad. I just feel like I trust him way more than Hawkins County.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like people would be like, they'll be like 50% of cops are bad, and you're like, really? So out of 100 cops, you're gonna say 50 of them are bad? That's nearly impossible. If you got to think about it, bro. Like, there's a few bad apples everywhere, but we got to navigate through that, and at the same time, just have faith that at some point everyone's doing what they can, right?
Exactly, and I hope, pray to God that the good cops out there will step up.
Yep.
Step up to the plate.
They are.
They are one of them.
They are.
I know your dad is. I don't even know why I'm saying this because I don't even know your dad.
They're all stepping up.
He's got to be. I don't know why I feel like.
And then the other theory is a more professional type mafia or whatever. I don't know, but that's always been one of my theories. But I never heard about no cornbread.
Well, the only child trafficking places that I know about, that I personally know about, is like Los Angeles, Southern California, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I personally know about that by accident.
Okay. What do you mean by accident? How do you know about that by accident?
Back in my cocaine days, when I was younger and I was out there doing all that dumb shit, I ran into some shit like that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it at that time, but now looking back, in my mind, I'm like, wow, a million miles away from that now, but now I get it and I understand what was happening. You know, I didn't get it then when I was younger.
Right.
But now looking back, it's like, okay, I can put the pieces together, the puzzle pieces together, and it's like these kids were taken away or run away, and they got them hooked on drugs and put out on the street, boys and girls. We're talking about Stockton, California now. This is a whole different world that none of y'all are familiar with.
Right, right.
This is a drug area to the max.
You know, even in Elizabeth Smart, you know, not getting off on another subject, but you know, they always try to clear the parents first.
I was in Utah when Elizabeth Smart was abducted. I was in Utah. I actually gave that motherfucker about fucking 75 cents.
Oh, wow.
That motherfucker would go downtown, Salt Lake City, and dress in like Jesus clothes, and he would go hold his hand out, and I was like, he come walking up to me, and held his hand out. I said, well, what is it that you want? And he didn't say a word, no words at all, and he just held his hand out again, like held his hand out. I was like, okay, I guess you want money. So I give him, you know, some change, not knowing that this dude is the one that took the Elizabeth Smart.
Right.
I was there in Salt Lake City at the time of her abduction.
That was so sad.
Okay. Just please continue to pray and support her. Please, I don't give a fuck what y'all think about me. I can go for us anymore. You know, I'm an asshole. I'm this bad person. Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. It's my beautiful daughter that matters. Okay? I want to say God bless you to all the people out there that support my daughter. Please don't support me. Please. That I'm a fucking evil motherfucker because that's what I've become. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I want you to think about.
Excuse me.
It's not about me. It's about when you go through so much stress, man, we have hard things. I've been, I know.
Listen.
I become so hard, 98. I became so hard because they took my kids, my first kid, and I started, and I'm going to tell you all this. I became so hard. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. I can't believe. Oh wow. I mean, I became part of the prison system to the point that they were spending a lot of money to go against the part of the prison. Oh my gosh. It was actually fancy to bring it down a certain part of the prison system. And I had people, they give me frantic calls, all kinds of stuff. I was just, and you know what? I told them to fuck off.
Yeah.
And then the other theory is a more professional type mafia or whatever. I don't know, but that's always been one of my theories. But I never heard about no cornbread mafia.
From the very day that I was up there, and then police came and interacted with them about the trespassing while I was there in Macklin, the little short one, the bald head. Lieutenant Macklin, you there? I'm here. Oh, okay. Lieutenant Macklin, he was treating them like shit. As soon as he got out the truck, he was treating Graham and Candace real bad, and immediately I was like, He knows they did. He just can't prove it. Can't prove it yet. Wasn't no reason why he was supposed to come up there and treat Graham and Candace like shit. He goes there, oh, I'm so sorry. We're still trying to find baby Summer, and I'm so sorry these people are here bothering you, man. But he got out the car and was like, yeah, no, we're not doing none of that. Treated her like shit. And I told you, I wanted to know if Macklin was just a dickhead. So when he looked at me at a point, I nodded. He walked over to me with me towards the telephone pole in the shed. And he was like, hey, what up? Like, Macklin's a very decent man. He just doesn't treat Candace and Grandma Candace good. Because, in my opinion, he knows they did. He just can't prove it yet.